friendly. And I think having playground equipment in neighborhood parks is a way that you say you're trying to attract families, and we need to do that.
Okay. Elizabeth, I believe you're next.
The council created a stakeholder group to create the plans for Coachman Commons. They imagined a park containing a small entertainment venue. Do you support the current $15 million, 4,000-seat amphitheater with surrounding green space, even though the stakeholder group and the consultant think it's too big for the park?
I was part of that stakeholder committee. I attended numerous meetings of the committee, of the community. There was extensive input by everyone in the community. This amphitheater idea was never mentioned. The idea that the consultant came up with at great time and expense was a large green park ringed with retail and residential that would be leased by the city to other entities. There was going to be a garden element and a bluff walk. That sounded great to me. After the vote, when the voters approved the change in the charter that was necessary to make this happen, the amphitheater was sprung on us. I think it overwhelms the green space. I think it's going to change the nature of the park. I think it's going to be expensive to build, to maintain, to attend. I think we need a more family-friendly neighborhood amphitheater like we have now that functions very well to host concerts. They're well-attended. They're very pleasant to experience, and I think that's what we need. And in terms of the other additions to the plan that were made after the vote, the pagoda and the very expensive library renovations, which are unnecessary to a building that is fairly new and is very beautiful, and other elements that have been proposed that cost money and I just think are not harmonious and make it more of a theme park than a green park. I oppose those. So the original plan, the large park and gardens with residents and retail and restaurants around it, I think would draw people. I think it would be quite successful and a lot more economical than what we've ended up with.
Just some history on how the amphitheater came about. Council members actually came to the former CEO of Ruth Eckerd Hall and asked him not only his professional opinion, but also to talk to Live Nation and AEG, which are two of the companies that do concerts around the country. And they asked because they wanted to know what a market-driven amphitheater would look like. That was the feedback that was given to the sitting city council at this time. Just so people understand how the process started. My biggest concern with Coachman Park, I don't like Coachman Commons, frankly. I think it's a poor name. I don't think it represents what Clearwater is. I believe it Coachman Park or Coachman Landing or something. But that matters less than the overall project. What I do believe in Coachman Park is that we need to do something that is going to bring people to downtown. If it is not going to drive activity to a greater extent, then all you will have done is spent a lot of money with no great effect. Currently, just to also put things in perspective on the concerts, when concerts are done down there today, they bring in a stage because the current stage isn't large enough. The Ford Orchestra doesn't want to come because it's not covered properly for their instruments. And you bring in 100, 150 portalettes that sit there for weeks on end because it's cheaper to rent them for a month than for 1 week. So there's a lot of moving parts that need to be considered. And I think there's more that needs to be talked about. Wish I had more time to talk about it.
I think it's appropriate to start at the very beginning. The council has been talking and had some funding in pending for Pinellas for Coachman Park. But any improvements in Coachman Park require citizens' approval at referendum. So the council was very thoughtfully, and I think it was really appropriately, hired a consulting firm, a national expert in park design, HRNA. They came down here, they spent 7 months, the city spent $378,000 to come up with a plan that was the citizens' plan, not Ruth Eckert, not the chamber, not Scientology, not the council. It was the citizens' plan for Coachman Park. Came up with an objective statement, and they went back and reconfirmed that objective statement. That was presented to the council. The council held a public meeting. We had a lot of people coming in. I remember one person saying, "It's not my plan, but it's our plan." And so that went forward. We went forward to the referendum, and the citizens said, "Yeah, we'll buy that. We'll go along with that." That was 75% approval. So then it went back to the council, and I don't know what happened, but it took a right turn. You might say it was municipal malpractice. That it changed the scope of the park. The park was supposed to start out, it says, the green and the waterfront should first and foremost function as an open space for Clearwater residents. It's not bringing people in from other cities to the park. That wasn't what it was intended to do in the first place. And it hasn't worked with the existing concerts. It hasn't moved the needle on downtown.
Coachman Park is actually why I got into this race. I see our city getting ready to potentially dump a ton of money into a park that's not going to work. They did surveys on it, and they said it's not going to pay back unless we do 40 venues a year. First of all, it's Coachman Park, not Coachman Commons, not Coachman Lanes, not Stillwater Commons, Coachman Park. It's our heritage, it's our history, it's one of our first properties the city was able to buy as a city, and it holds a lot of value to keeping it for the people. We got to look at things like the library. We're talking about spending $6 more million. We just built this library, and we had to come back and build fences around it because of some problems we have down there with people sleeping around it when it rains. We have other problems down there. We have companies that we partnered with that don't partner very well. So I don't have to name those companies. There's news articles that did that, but those aren't things that are going to help us. I think things that are going to help us is keeping it a community park, keeping it a green space, connecting it all. Let's call it all Coachman Park. It is Coachman Park. Yeah, we all did. I agree. We should have done something down there. Yeah, I was part of that group that said, yeah, let's do it. And then what happened? We let big business get in here. We let everyone start thinking we had an unlimited budget. Clearwater doesn't have an unlimited budget. It wasn't any one group that did it. It was like they had a free-for-all, and were allowed to say whatever they wanted and start putting forth ideas that are just unrealistic for Clearwater. So we need a green park down there. We need a green space. We could use a community center, maybe a cultural center, some local businesses down there that get people down there to eat, drink, and be merry. So it should be our park. It should be Coachman Park. It should not be changed into some big conglomerate where big business is here to make money on our city.
Okay, we're running out of time, so I'm going to give the candidates 2 minutes to make a closing statement. But before they do that, we forgot to thank a couple of people in the beginning, and that would be David Willison for being our timekeeper, and Laura Smith for the fine vocals that we have tonight. So thank you. Also, I have a card here, and the candidates, the question is, can the candidates stay after we do the closing statements to answer questions from the audience for a few minutes while we wrap up and close up. So if you're willing to do that, that'd be great. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with the closing statements. And Elizabeth, would you like to go first? Oh, wait, before you start, I'd just like to thank all of you for coming. It's obvious that you read the questions that we provided and spontaneously asked, the audience asked, you answered all that really well. This is not easy to do, people, and I think we all need a round of applause. I would also like to thank all of you for coming out tonight. It's not exactly warm, so you all deserve a lot of credit too. Give yourselves a hand. Go ahead.
Thank you to the CNC. Thank you all for coming out. This is a great opportunity for us. You know, every time they build a new overpass over US 19 and they stamp the concrete with pictures of seashells, it's a last stick in the eye to the life that we humans destroy. My name is Elizabeth Drayer. I'm a lawyer, I'm a mother. I lived in the city for 22 years. I've served on 6 city boards, I've chaired nonprofit committees, fighting for clean air, clean water, and wildlife. I've asked for a tree planting program like other big cities have. No. I've asked for clean energy and green building. No. I've asked the city to buy land that's important to wildlife. No. We have billions, millions to give to the Phillies to spruce up their digs, but no cash for the creatures. The city pulled the staff from its one nature park. It ignores a climate science and builds up the beaches. The only way I can change things is to win a seat on the council, and you need me there. Because I see past the parking and paving and the fights over who owns what. I see what's important, a clean, healthy city to leave to our kids. We need change, we need new leadership, and we need to put nature in charge. Please vote for me on March 17th, Elizabeth Drayer for mayor. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming tonight. I hope it's been beneficial to hear everybody talk about the different issues, and there are many more that we didn't even cover tonight, which I'm sure you're concerned about. I still have a survey on my website, which is frank.hibbard.com. So check that out. I'd love to hear from you. We're tabulating all that. When we're done tabulating, we're going to give all the results to everybody, so you can actually see what the percentages were from all the different questions. So those continue to flow in by mail and on the website. I've lived here 41 years. I am going to die here in this city. And I want to make sure that I leave in a better place for my kids and my grandkids who all live in this area. We all have that responsibility, whether we stay here for the rest of our lives or not. I've always given you very strong leadership within the city, but also regionally, making certain that Clearwater was a part of the decision-making process for the entire Tampa Bay area. I promise that I will continue to listen to citizens. I will start with a strategic plan before we do anything other than find a search firm for a new city manager. We will go out and have neighborhood meetings throughout the city and get feedback on what your priorities are. And from there, we will build a 5-year strategic plan that will take all of those ideas into account, prioritize them, and find the money to carry it out. Thank you all for coming tonight, and God bless you.
Wow, what an evening this has been. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for your passion in the future of Clearwater. Clearwater will be facing some really big decisions in the next 4 years. Don't you want someone that is going to really listen to you prior to those decisions being made? I think that's me. Remember, the citizens rejected the strong mayor referendum, so this election will be who you are going to pick as a servant leader for your council. The council must have a servant leader to facilitate the collaborative council process. Frankly, only 2 individuals up here have real experience and understanding about municipal government and how it works. But only one has the dedication and the listening ear to truly drive this city forward, and that's me. As your next mayor, my goal is to undo the municipal mediocrity that has been accepted in the city by some Clearwater leaders. And we cannot just be loud about issues. We must act logically on the issues that matter to the city. So, my name is Bill Jonson, a person of experience and vision for mayor, but it's not about me. It's about us working together for your Clearwater to be better. I ask for your vote on March 17th.
Thank you to the CNC for holding this event and having us all here. Thank you everyone for coming and getting to listen to me and these guys. I think we're all very passionate about Clearwater. I'm new, but I think I'm new because I think I'm ready for a change. I've been here 40 years. I plan to be here at least another 40, God willing. I think Clearwater can be better. I don't want to be just a politician. I'm here to be your public servant. So I'm not here for life to run as mayor and keep running and running and running. I'm here to make a difference, get in, get some more people passionate, get some new management, get some new things happening, get Clearwater going back to being better. I think Clearwater can be better. We must be better. And I think it's time to be better. So hopefully with some new leadership and maybe a little luck, I seem to find my luck here to get even be on the stage with these guys. I look forward to a new manager. I look forward to a new city manager and a new city attorney. And I look forward to hopefully being your mayor. My name is Morton Myers. Morton for mayor is my campaign. And we'll see how this all turns out about March 17th.
Okay, that ends it, and they've agreed to stay if you have some questions you'd like to ask. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight.